My name is Julia. On behalf of Cambridge Assessment English, I would like to welcome you to this online course, TKT. Today, we are talking about TKT Module 1. If you can hear me well, please put a plus in the chat box. Thank you very much for your reactions. Thank you for your pluses. Welcome, everybody. Our online course will give you an overview of TKT, Teaching Knowledge Test. This is a series of multiple choice tests. There are 5 modules that can be taken in any order or combination. These 5 webinars, will give you an overview of Module 1, 2, and 3, the core modules of TKT, and there will be 2 sessions about specialist modules, TKT CLIL, Content and Language Integrated Learning, and TKT Young Learners, TKT-YL. Before we start, I'd like to give you some instructions and recommendations. We do recommend you to use Google Chrome, or you can use an app, webinar.ru. If you cannot hear the presenter, see the slides or video, please refresh the webinar page or reconnect to your internet network. Please be an active participant and provide feedback, ask questions. We are here to share our knowledge and expertise with you. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions in the question box. The recording of the webinar will be added to our YouTube channel, Cambridge Assessment English Russia. The link is in the chat box. It will be also emailed to you within a week of the webinar, together with your certificate of attendance. Just a reminder, we only issue certificates to those who have attended one of our live webinars. Hello, everyone. Hello. I see that so many people are joining us. Another useful link that I would like to share with you is the link to our website. So if you would like to register for your TKT exam, TKT test, please follow this link. You need to choose the country, and the list of authorized exam centers will be available. Hello, hello everyone. Wonderful. So it's already 4 p.m. in Moscow, and I think it's time to get started. So I'm happy to introduce our presenter, our trainer, Anna Kasheva, teacher trainer, Cambridge Assessment English presenter. Hello, Anna. Thank you very much for today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you. The weather is really, really great today. It's very hot in Moscow. This is summer.
Yeah, quite normal for summer, right?
Yes, yes. So, can you see your slides?
Yes, I can.
Yes?
Thank you.
Wonderful. So, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And welcome to this 5-day event. I'll be with you for 3 days. And yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, and I'll be guiding you through the first 3 modules. Yeah, the core modules, we call them, TKT modules. And then my colleagues will join in and talk about some specialist modules. So, as has Julia has already mentioned, that we'll be using the chat box today. Thank you for saying hellos and introducing yourselves a little bit. It's good that you can hear and see us. We'll be also using the questions and answers section, yeah, at the end of the session. So feel free to add questions there. I'll have a look at them at the end of the session. Let me tell you a couple of words about myself. I'm a teacher trainer. Well, I'm a teacher first of all, and I don't have an intention to leave this job, but I'm also a teacher trainer, and I've been involved in running various courses from TKT preparation courses, some pre-service qualifications like Celt, and some other advanced courses in methodology and teaching and language. So my main areas of interest is to prepare students for high-level exams, external exams. And at the moment I'm delivering a Celt course, an intensive course. We're just in the middle of it, which is quite challenging. So I'm going to mention a few qualifications that you may find useful for yourself or for your colleagues, for your friends. So feel free to ask a question about some other qualifications, not exactly TKT. I'll be happy to give you a hint. Right. So I can see that some of you have already started introducing yourselves. I can see people from Tashkent, Baikal. Oh, nice. Yeah, different areas of Russia and not only Russia. That's amazing. Could you please type in the chat box something about your place? Egypt. Wow, amazing. Kazakhstan, Moscow. Yeah, many different places. Pskov. Novosibirsk. Wow, that's amazing. That's really rewarding. Thank you all for joining us. Now, as you can see, I'm showing you some prompts. What else you can type in about, like whether you work for a state school or a private school. Maybe you're a private tutor. Maybe you're just a student who would like to start teaching. Or maybe you are a subject teacher and you want to start teaching English. TKT is a very good qualification, basically for everyone. Maybe you've been teaching English for some time, so you are experienced. Maybe you've just started, so let me know how much experience you've got in the area and whether you work with general English classes, adult learners, young learners, exam preparation, business English. Maybe you are using some elements of CLIL. That'll be good to know. So we have teachers from different contexts and with different level of qualifications and experience. That's amazing. There are so many responses. Thank you very much for being so active. Okay. Well, good news is TKT is good for all of you if you want to confirm your level of expertise. And perhaps by preparing for the course, you'll be brushing up on some linguistic aspects and teaching related areas. So this will help you work on your professional development. 16 years. Wow, that's amazing. You're very experienced people here. TKT Young Learner Certificate, great. So if you know something about some of the models, TKT models, that obviously will help you because they have some similarities. I will highlight them in a moment. Different age groups, amazing. Okay, right. So 2 years and 23 years, such a gap, Well done. Such a wide range of experience levels. That's amazing. Okay, great. Okay, so the aims that I'm going to set up for this session, for the first session, is to give an overview of TKT in general, because this is the introductory session, first of all. Okay, people who are mentioning something related to Cambridge exams, be careful, please. I don't think you are allowed to give it away. Right, so yeah, we'll be talking about what TKT is like, first of all. Then different types of areas we can work on to develop professionally. Of course, I'll talk you through the requirements, what the format of the test is, and what content area will be assessed. I'll remind you how to register, and how to prepare for the course. And then obviously there will be some practical ideas throughout the session, and I'll show you some sample tasks to help you understand the level of challenge and whether you need a lot of preparation or just basically do one sample test and you're ready to go, okay? Yeah, young learners and teenagers, state exams, okay, amazing. Business English. Great. Okay, the wider the experience is, the wider range of different teaching contexts you've got, the better, of course, because you can rely on your experience and many of the questions will be quite straightforward for you. Yeah, so just a couple of words about Cambridge qualifications, why people choose these qualifications. There are many different reasons, but the most important thing perhaps is that it is widely recognized. It is an international qualifications, and wherever you take it, it is the same and well acknowledged. So as you can see here, it is estimated that a growing number of people all over the world take tests to confirm their level of professional development or language ability, and over 5 million people take different exams related to teaching qualifications every year, which are accepted in 130 countries, and perhaps the numbers are growing. The range of qualifications is impressive, and there are myriad of examinations for both learners, teachers as learners, and teachers as teachers to confirm your level of expertise in the area. Okay, some of you are interested in taking Tkt CLIL, then perhaps this information might not be very relevant for you. There will be some basic aspects at the beginning of the session that you may find useful, and then actually you can rejoin us on that day when Tkt CLIL will be covered explicitly, okay? Right. So if you take Tkt, you show your bosses, your school owners, your directors of studies, perhaps that you are developing yourself, you have necessary skills and confidence to work with different groups of students, depending which modules you are taking. And you are better prepared for teaching learners, and you can ensure their positive learning experience. And that's, of course, a good sign for employees, so you can enhance your career opportunities. Let's have a look at Cambridge English Teaching Framework. I usually start with this because it shows how we can develop professionally in general, and then we'll be using this grid as a springboard to highlight some areas that Tkt will be assessing, your skills and different understanding of different principles that will be assessed in Tkt modules. So, as you can see, there are 5 areas that they've identified. The first one is learning and the learner. And perhaps this is one of the most important areas, understanding your learner's needs. That implies understanding different roles that you need to take on during your lessons, preparing for lessons, and so on and so forth. So this is something to keep in mind all the time. And perhaps as experienced teachers, you work with different students, and when you start working with a new group of students, you collect information about them, like what they like doing, what their basic interests and preferences are like, and what they really need, and how you can help them in the future, right? During your lessons, you obviously make use of that information somehow, referring to the information collected. Then there is teaching, learning, and assessment, and that's what you do during your lessons, of course, and a little bit of lesson preparation is embedded there, of course. So you demonstrate your understanding of the principles behind how lessons might be planned and delivered, and also how to run activities, manage activities, set them up, and what kind of feedback to give, for example, at the end of the lesson. So the wider range of techniques, of course, the better understanding usually you have when to use them and how to apply them. And then language ability, which is about, there is an overlap in between categories, as you can see. I have already mentioned learning and the learn, and then teaching. And of course, when you teach, you teach your learners, not the course book or your plan. So here we have two criteria which are similar to a certain extent: language ability and language knowledge and language awareness. And of course, without being aware what language is like and how it works, you can't demonstrate your ability to clarify the language to the learners. And finally, we have a very interesting area, professional development and values. And that's when you demonstrate your understanding that it is important to work on professional development. And those of you who have already come to take part in this webinar, you are there. Yes, so you're developing for sure. So depending on your level of expertise, yeah, there are different levels, of course. And we have foundation level, those who have just graduated from a university or have just delivered their first course of study for their students. Yeah, and then more experienced teachers, hopefully, who have already done some professional development activities, including maybe preparing for TKT or something else. And then those who keep reflecting and improving their practice, they can become to proficient, closer to proficient and expert levels. So with that in mind, keeping all the 5 areas actually, we'll continue exploring different qualifications, right? So if we are talking about Cambridge English Awards that are available, yeah, on this slide, I'm showing 3 courses that are quite popular, yeah, well known, and of course recognized by different educational establishments. If you want to work abroad, perhaps you would like to get one of the certificates of this kind. So to start with, we have initial qualification. Celt was designed as an initial qualification, but now it is so popular that many experienced teachers want to confirm their teaching skills, that their teaching skills are of the right level, yeah, Cambridge approved level, and they take the course quite often. What I like about Celt is that there is this practical component. You have to teach real students. And of course, there is some input on theory and methodology. TKT itself is just a test. But of course, if you join a course to prepare for TKT, whatever the model is, yeah, there will be a course of study, which will help you also meet like-minded people and develop collaborating with others, by collaborating with others and also with your trainer. And Delta, which is quite a challenging event, let's say, which consists also of 3 modules. We're not going to cover the modules in detail today, but one of the modules also has a practical components, which is similar to Celta. And one of the modules, Delta Module 1, is similar to TKT because it's a test. The difference between Delta Module 1 and TKT modules is that in TKT you have to choose the right answers, whereas in Delta Module 1 you'll have to give the answers yourself by writing either short or longer written responses. Another qualification I wanted to highlight for you today is Celt S Certificate, which is a course which is available online, and perhaps Julie can share a link where you can find more about the course now. The information is available at Cambridge English website. And what I wanted to highlight and why it is relevant for us now is that there is a healthy combination. Oh, thank you, Julia. Yeah, you can find the link in the chat box now. There is a healthy combination of TKT preparation, so there is an element of assessment, yeah, and theory, input on different aspects related to methodology. And there is also a practical component, which I find the most beneficial for many courses, and that's why I like delivering CELTA and Delta courses, you know, things like that. So here you also have teaching practice, yeah. So those of you who work with secondary school children, perhaps you may consider taking this course, which is available online, and you can find more information if you follow the link. Now, let's talk about TKT. So from now on, I won't be talking about many other qualifications, which might be useful, but you can ask me a question later on. So I have already mentioned that TKT is very beneficial for both teachers who take the test, who prepare for the test, and for educational establishments who encourage their teachers to take tests like TKT, because they show their interest in professional development, and obviously that will affect their teaching practice, teaching performance, and therefore their learners will benefit from that. You can see quite a few reports from different people all over the world about the experience of taking TKT tests, and all of them say that it was very beneficial. It is a widely recognized qualification, and they were aware of different strategies. Well, they became aware of different strategies and important pieces of information due to the fact that they had to prepare for the course itself, you know, for the test itself. So let's summarize the benefits of taking TKT. I'm sure you're all interested in more practical ideas, but here we've got something that I have already mentioned. Obviously, when you work on your teaching skills, you want to enhance your learner's experience, and this is crucial for employers. I'm sure you'll be better able to find a job that is appealing if you have a certificate of that kind. It is relatively affordable, so there is nothing really difficult in taking the course and preparing for the course. I'll show you some ways how you can do. And of course, the knowledge that you can get by taking preparatory courses can help you in the future. It's quite of practical value. Well, honestly, if you show to someone that you've got a Cambridge certificate, it won't hurt. It will improve your the impression. The first impression will be better for sure. And of course, some organizations just require this kind of qualification, and that's why you might be forced to do TKT, right? Okay, so who is TKT for? I have already mentioned that no matter how experienced you are, whether you have a degree in teaching or in linguistics, you can take TKT and you can benefit from that. So it is a good qualification for both new teachers and experienced ones. For those who want to refresh their knowledge, yeah, brush up on some different aspects related to teaching, classroom management, lesson planning. If you want to understand some correction techniques, for example, yeah, it's also a very useful thing to do just by looking at sample papers, for example. Whether you work with primary school children, secondary school children or adult learners, even if you work with some preschoolers, actually some of the aspects will be really relevant for them, because TKT3 modules, and I'm focusing on the core modules today, are actually the most beneficial for everyone, because they are universal. It's kind of background knowledge for all teachers, and then you can specialize after understanding the basic principles of teaching. For those who want to teach English, actually, there will be quite a lot of practical tips during the course of preparation, or just when you look at the tasks, sample tasks, you can become aware of some of the things that you haven't thought of, and you'll be considering them in the future. So basically, TKT is for everyone, and you don't have to demonstrate your high level of English. Yeah, usually it's recommended to have something like B1 level, but I'm sure you all teachers and you have a high level of English, and there are no formal entry requirements, so you don't have to demonstrate anything else. If you can understand the questions in English, then it's good enough for you. Okay, so back to the whole overview, right? There are 5 modules in TKT. For each module, there will be 80 questions in the question booklet, and you'll have to deal with the questions in 80 minutes, which makes it like 1 minute per question. But obviously, some tasks might be more challenging than others, and they will require a little bit longer. And some of the questions will be very straightforward, and you'll be just ticking the right boxes right away. Certificates are available for each module that you take. And good news again, you can't fail TKT. So you take it and you get the certificate no matter what kind of result you're getting. The certificate will be issued. There are many different dates you can choose, so it's quite convenient. I have already mentioned that it's not very expensive if you compare it to Celt or Delta. Yeah, of course, taking TKT test is very affordable. You can choose the only one module. So even if we talk about 3 core modules, you can choose only one, and then when you're ready, you can shift towards preparing for the second one, and so on and so forth. And you will earn a certificate for each of them. And then, of course, you can choose specialist modules too. By preparing for the courses, of course, we are not talking about just taking a test, because this is just ridiculous, right? We need to exploit that. We need to make use of that opportunity and being more attentive and reflective when we deal with different task types and consider different teaching related situations. And that can help you develop in the future. So what TKT's focuses on? Yeah. So first of all, you need to be able to demonstrate your understanding of methodology, different teaching principles. That implies, of course, how languages are learned as well, and learners' needs. Then you need to be able to understand terminology related to lesson planning, different lesson plan components, what entails and what requires, and what must be done, and what can be done in different lessons. You probably will be asked to choose some of the answers related to classroom management techniques, depending on the situation, task types, focuses of the lesson, and different stages of the lesson. And also making use of the teaching materials, how to use course books, or maybe use supplementary materials. There is a section on that in TKT. Okay, so I've mentioned 5 modules. Now you can see what they are like. 3 core modules with different focuses. The first one is the most general, but very important. That will help you focus on how languages are learned and what teaching techniques can be used. The second module on planning. And finally, classroom management type of model, which covers basically everything, your understanding of the teaching principles and how to help learners, and also how to make use of different resources, teaching materials, and so on and so forth. That's okay. Yeah, I can see some of you are late, but it's good that you are joining us. Keep coming, that's fine, and keep being active. Yeah, okay. And if we talk about specialist modules, which you'll be given more information on the following days, there are 2 at the moment. One of them is Young Learners, and another one is CLIL, which stands for Content and Language Integrated Learning. Quite an interesting model to consider, actually. Very good for experienced teachers, I would say, because you can use that element in many different lessons. Now, if you are interested in the prices, could you please follow the link that Julia has shared with you and find out about the prices there. Now, when you come to take the test on the test day, you'll be given 2 booklets. One booklet will be your question paper booklet, and another one will be the answer sheet. And as you can see in the answer sheet, there are no big spaces for writing something. It's basically shading in the lozenges, identifying the correct answer. That's what Tkt is like. You can take notes. You can mark correct answers in the question paper booklet. But at the end of the test, don't forget to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Otherwise, you won't be achieving high results, right? The question paper booklet is not the answer sheet. It won't be considered. So you can choose only one module to start with, or you can take 3 modules at the same time. When you register, the managers will suggest you different dates that are available, and you can consider how many modules to take on one day. Personally, I would recommend you to focus on one module at a time to make it more manageable, enjoyable. Well, it'll be a lot more pleasant experience if you take one module at a time. If you take 3 modules together, yeah, with a short breaks in between, it will be challenging. Some people just they can't cope with the workload, with the information load, and towards the end of the day they get tired, and obviously that affects performance. So what can be done? You've decided you want to take one of Tkt modules, okay? So first of all, you need to find out as much as possible about the test, and I'm going to give you some information today, and then my colleagues will give you some too. Secondly, you can go to the website to read about what Tkt is like. Yeah, that's worth doing, seriously, and it's easy to do, and it's free of charge. You can also choose the exam center and register for the exam to keep yourself motivated, focused, and basically, yeah, so that will do, yeah. Can we pass Tkt online? No, unfortunately not. It's a paper-based exam. Then you can find and download online resources. Some of them are available online, and I'll show you which ones. So we have quite a few links in the chat box. And one of the first links that we've shared with you was to Cambridge English website, where you can find the handbook, Tkt handbook, Tkt glossary, and a sample paper. And this is something to start with. The handbook contains information about the test, and there is a sample paper. The glossary will help you brush up on the key terminology related to TKT to become more confident and better prepared for the test itself. And then, of course, as you can do as many sample tests as possible if you find them online, or you can buy a book with TKT. So the more the better, because the most important thing is to become aware of all the variety, the range of activities, tasks, areas you'll be assessed on. Okay, now you can choose other useful materials. And these are not free resources, but perhaps you can find some of them online in PDFs, I don't know, maybe older editions. So most importantly, there is Tkt Course Book, which is a very good preparation, of course. Each chapter will start by introducing the terms that you need to know, and then there will be different tasks to guide you and prepare you for the test. And at the end of the book, you can see the whole sample paper, so you can do the whole test. There are some other books that you may find useful. First, I would recommend Jeremy Harmy's book, Essential Teacher Knowledge, because by the name of the book, you can see that it is essential knowledge, what TKT is actually about. And there are plenty of good examples. There is a DVD, you can watch videos with different lessons and become aware of some practical tips and techniques from teachers all over the world. Jim Scribner's book, Learning Teaching, yeah, or series How to Teach can also be helpful. If you are not satisfied with the list presented on the previous slide, then probably you can have a look at some other sources. And from those that I'm showing you right now, I have already mentioned Scribner's book, Learning Teaching, and Essential Teacher Knowledge by Jeremy Harmer. You can see some other books that are still very useful, and most of them are on methodology, but I also have some ideas in terms of how to brush up on linguistic terms. Yeah, there are some books about language. And something you can start with is probably Murphy English Grammar in Use, which we usually recommend for our students. But there are some resources for teachers, and they will be more useful for you, of course, if you want to prepare for the test. Some of the books are quite advanced, so you don't have to read them all to prepare for TKT. That won't be necessary, but if you're keen on developing professionally, that can help you anyway. So all TKT core and special ed models are paper-based. Remember, some of you have asked about computer-based or online tests. They're all paper-based. All of them contain 80 questions, and they will be given 80 minutes, which means if you take 3 modules, yeah, back to back on one day, then it'll take, yeah, 3 times 80 minutes. So you count yourself. It's quite challenging. 1 mark will be awarded for each correct answer for each question. And the types of questions are different. They might be multiple choice type of questions, matching questions, and also there is a question which I prefer to highlight as a different one, odd one out. It looks like either matching or multiple choice, but there is not in the rubric. And this is the trickiest task, and that's why I want to highlight it, just for you to become aware that you need to keep an eye on that. Now, again, good news. Remember, you can't fail TKT. When you take the test, you demonstrate your knowledge, yeah, and you can't fail the test. Your knowledge is either limited, and then you'll be awarded band 1, or basic, but systematic, or maybe it's quite broad and deep, or extensive. If it is extensive, then you'll be awarded band 4. So as you can see, the certificate will look like this. Yeah, TKT at the top of the certificate, then your name, then the band, and which module you've taken. So for each module, it'll be, it'll look like that. To prepare for the test, some candidates find it really useful to take a sample test, yeah, either which is available online or from the course book, or if you attend a course of study, then probably the trainer will arrange something for you. So do a variety of tasks and activities to help you refresh, develop, and become more confident about different terms, different skills systems, and so on. So basically brushing up on your knowledge. Also, you need to know different task types that will help you save time during the test, on the test day. And of course, the more tests you do, the better it'll be, but don't forget to reflect and do something, you know, some kind of action plan again. So I found this area difficult. I need to read a little bit about, for example, error correction. And then you go back and do some task types related to that area, and hopefully you can see that you are improving. Now, what knowledge teachers need? Oh, that's an interesting question. I think teachers actually need to be aware of a lot of many useful things, right? So could you please type in your ideas in the chat box? What do we need to know to be able to be good teachers? Okay, don't be shy. Come on, type in some ideas. Passion, absolutely right. Yes. Empathy, absolutely. So that there are a lot of psychological skills. Yeah. Content knowledge. Yeah. Okay. Could you be more specific what you mean by that? Methodology, definitely. Experience. Oh, interesting. Language for sure. Yeah. Creativity. Oh, using gestures. Wow, that's an interesting one. Reflection, I agree. This is very important, yeah. Children loving, yeah, okay. If you work with children, then yeah, I think it can help. Yeah, or maybe it's the only possible way to work with them. If you don't like them well, it'll be a struggle. Keeping up with the news. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, so you're talking about, yeah, if we refer again to that framework for teachers, the final area is the most important. Yeah, we keep reflecting and developing, and we show our eagerness to do that. Yeah, expertise, exactly. Motivation, wow. Yeah, great ideas. Being persistent sometimes, yes, I agree. I agree. Love. Amazing, yeah. All right, okay, awesome. Oh, higher order of thinking skills. Wow, that's amazing. Smile. Yeah, one of the most important things. Yeah, without, you know, being able to demonstrate your people skills, perhaps you won't be able to teach at all. You're right. Yeah, inspiration. Great. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah, very interesting contributions. I'm showing some of the areas that are highlighted in TKT. Have a look. I think you've mentioned some of them, like, methodology and teaching, yeah, this kind of awareness. Reflecting, yeah, I agree. Knowledge of concept and terms related to teaching, or maybe languages in general, like, for example, what a homophone is or something else. Ability to understand learner needs. I think you've mentioned quite a few things related to that, even psychology, for example, yeah, or smiling to learners. So you understand that the atmosphere should be positive, right? And you want to establish that and maintain that throughout your lesson. What can help you? Well, a smile is one of the components, right? But there might be something else, like a variety of tasks that you are giving. responding to your students, and so on. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. Yeah, I agree. Now, select from a range of resources is another thing, yeah, and I have already mentioned that we need to use a variety of activities. Yeah, being supportive and encouraging, absolutely right. Yeah. Attention to details, isn't it smart? Well done, Aziza, yeah, I totally agree. Okay, then identifying lesson aims, like are you going to follow the course book? Or your priority is to focus only on a particular activity. Quite often in course books, we can see too many things, right? So we need to be able to set priorities somehow. Understanding teacher roles, that's a very interesting area, I think. Okay, thank you for joining us. Okay, tune in. Effective lesson preparation, which depends on the ability to identify the aims of a particular lesson. Choosing practice activity, understanding classroom management methods, yeah, whether, for example, to interrupt students, whether to prompt them, scaffold, or, I don't know, leave it as it is because they can cope without your help. Things like that, how to use, for example, tools around yourself, like if you're talking about offline learning, whether to put some posters on the walls or remove them, because for this particular activity, they don't need any prompts. Ability to use the language of teaching, which is your classroom language, what instructions you'll be giving, how you'll be explaining things, will you be actually explaining, or it'll be like, you know, by emerging students into a situation and helping them work out what language they need and then clarifying that. Using teaching aids and giving feedback, of course. So, of course, this list is not full, it's not complete, and I would probably need several slides to highlight all of the things, but we'll be working with some of the components step by step. So if we focus on the first module, actually, it will be more relevant for those who want to brush up what language is like, how to describe language, what do we know about the principles of learning languages, how they might be learned, and also how this understanding can affect our teaching methods. Yeah, so let's have a look. Okay, so the first module, surprisingly, will take 80 minutes, and there will be 80 questions. The task types are the same. I have already mentioned matching, multiple choice, odd one out. Which areas will be covered in particular, you can see here in these 3 points. Or in these 3 points. So I prefer a variety of mind maps because I'm a visual learner myself. If you are a visual learner yourself, then probably you'll find it useful and more memorable. So let's focus on these areas step by step. So the first area is describing language and language skills. So we can subdivide language into skills and something else. What's the second area? Who can help me? Just a second, not skill, systems. Well done. Do we have any CELTA candidates here? Yeah, okay. And yes, skills and systems. And in skills, I can see some of you are mentioning receptive and productive. Well done, that's been smart. So you can see reading, what else? Speaking, listening, awesome. One more? Writing, absolutely right, yes. Those will be the skills. And, okay, awesome. So 2 receptive skills, listening and reading, and 2 productive skills, speaking and writing. Now, I want you to answer my question. Which skills do you think is the most challenging, or like, which are the most challenging? Yeah, there are 4 basic skills, but which will be more challenging, receptive or productive, in your opinion? Productive. speaking, writing. Listening, quite often students don't have enough confidence to deal with listening activities, especially when you start preparing them for an external exam of some kind. Yeah, you can identify some difficulties there. That certainly depends on the learner. I agree. Yeah, but in general, productive skills are more challenging. And when we run our lessons, we expose students to different texts first, giving them some practice in developing reading, listening, and then as a springboard, yeah, we can use those texts as models to help students produce something. So the secondary systems, let's focus on the systems. Tell me which areas you can, Lexis, perfect. Grammar, great. Discourse, wow, that's amazing. I wouldn't say it's CELTA, it's not CELTA, it's not TKT level. It's like Delta level, advanced methodology type of level. Good job. Yeah, use of English, yeah, exactly. Phonetics, yeah. Functions, perfect. Wow, you've been amazing, actually. You know everything. So we have all of the areas related to systems. Now, we've done that with skills. Let's focus on the systems and identify the most challenging component, which will be the component. Functions. Yeah, I agree. Functions. Especially for teachers, it might be challenging, like how to teach, how to clarify all the aspects. Yeah. Phonology. Yeah, also. Yeah, maybe grammar. Okay, that depends, of course. Yeah. I could see a question about how valid the certificates are. There is no restriction. There is no expiry date. So they are for life. You've earned Tkt. Here it is. You can always demonstrate it. So if we focus on skills or systems, there might be different aspects we need to consider, and that's how we brush up on our understanding of terminology, knowledge in general of systems and skills. Now, on the left, you can see some terms related to skills or systems. Tell me, please. Yes, on the left, there's still skills, and on the right, some terms related to systems. So if we work on receptive skills, quite often we have to mention which sub-skills we are working on, yeah? From TKT onwards, like CELTA level, and then Delta, obviously. When you have to submit your lesson plan, there will be always the sub-skill that you're specifying. That means what strategy you would like the students to use, how they'll be reading or listening, with what in mind, what's the purpose. Yeah, either gist, general understanding, or specific information. Who can give me a synonym for gist? What do we call gist reading? Skimming, fantastic. And what is another term for reading for specific information? Yeah, the main meaning, yeah, okay, that's also, yeah, scanning for specific information. Yeah, exactly. Those are the synonyms. Great, okay, so you're well prepared. I think you need to go and register right away for Tkt. Now, if we talk about speaking, developing speaking skills, then the focus might be on either fluency or what's the opposite? Exactly, accuracy, yes, very good. Okay. Which will be also relevant for writing skills. Yeah, we can either set up a task with a communicative focus, and the students will be focusing on delivering a message of some kind, yeah, which is quite authentic and natural, or they can focus on using the target language. What do we need to use? The present perfect, perhaps. So the focus will be different. When we develop writing skills, we also help quite often our students with the layout, organizational features of the text. Like, for example, if you have to write an email, yeah, how to start your email, what kind of greeting to use, how to sign off at the end of the letter, things like that, and whether to use paragraphs and what the function of each paragraph might be to help them better organize their texts. The authenticity of task, I also have mentioned that, yeah, if you set up a task with a communicative focus, like write an email to your neighbor, yeah, someone who is sitting in the room, it's not very authentic because they can talk. But if you ask them to write a letter to you or to a friend of some kind, maybe an imaginary friend, but still there is a communicative task there. Inform that person who is going to come to Moscow what Moscow is like. Yeah, it's really hot now, so maybe you don't need to take too many jackets here or something like this. You know, the message will be more important and the task will be more authentic. When we work on systems, then there are several aspects that, again, will be very important. Of course, meaning, pronunciation, and form will be something that we'll be covering. And when we talk about the form, quite often we highlight the part of speech, and that will help the students use the target language in the future. Like if it is a verb, they know that they need to use a subject before the verb and then something else, and they can use different tenses. If it is a noun, it can be plural or singular. There might be an article in front of it, and so on. The form and use of grammatical structures, like what we need this grammar for and how to use it. Again, like in terms of punctuation or sentence stress, we can also highlight some features of pronunciation. But probably the most important thing is meaning, of course, that we start clarifying at the beginning of the lesson to help students, you know, being more conscious about the target language, understanding the purpose of it. And then probably I'll be talking about pronunciation a bit later, but here you can see some of the aspects related to pronunciation, either at a word level or sentence discourse level, like connected speech, some features there, or intonation patterns. Okay, so the first area we are going to look at will be grammar. And to start with, I have a quote, a citation from Penny Ear's book. That's what she says about grammar, what grammar is like. So type in a plus if you agree that's what grammar is. Okay, different size, yeah. Yeah, International Phonemic Alphabet. I don't know if you have the right abbreviation there, but yeah, that's what I meant. Symbols of the International Phonemic Alphabet. Oh, there are some minuses. Interesting. Okay, so probably you think that grammar is not only about putting words together. There is something else, right? Syntax, exactly. Yeah, but there is an overlap in between terms. Yeah, Yelena is saying no. That's not the grammar. How would you define grammar then? Okay. Yeah, okay. It's okay. You'll be able to see the recording later. Okay, right. So when we work with grammar, we often use different parts of speech, and we consider the target language from that perspective first of all. But then if there is a lengthy structure, then of course we need to highlight some kind of formula for the students, yeah, and also help them understand how to use it when it will be relevant, appropriate, and so on. Yeah, the order, I agree. Yeah, okay. I see now. Okay, thank you for your clarifications. Yeah, so probably that definition was too simplistic. I see what you mean. Okay, now here is a kind of practice task for you. So first, on the left, we've got a word cloud with different grammar structures, yeah, topical areas. On the right, you can see some examples. So what I want you to do is to match one to another. First, you have like a moment to think, and then I'll elicit the answers. Okay, you don't match numbers and numbers, right? You need to match numbers to the areas. For example, number 1, I can see present perfect simple. I don't think so. It's not present. Then I realized that what had happened. So there is no present perfect here. Reported. Okay. Past perfect had happened. Absolutely right. Okay, so yeah, then I realized there is an element of reporting something, and then we use the past perfect. You're absolutely right. How about number 2, passive? Are made. What kind of passive? Could you be more specific here? Present simple passive. Awesome. Good. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Present perfect. Okay, we don't have any difficulties here. Let's have a look at number 4. Gerund. So we have, verb patterns here. Yeah, and the present simple at the beginning. You're right, very good. And finally, number 5 is about reported speech. Yeah, she said, for sure. And then the past simple, right? Very good. Okay, now, if you had to teach these structures, well, obviously you do have to teach them occasionally. So what do you need to highlight to the students? Let's take one of them. Let's say number 3. Let's talk about the present perfect, because quite often students experience difficulties here. Which will be the most important aspect? Meaning, pronunciation, or form? Meaning. Yeah, I think meaning is extremely important. The form will be also necessary to explain, especially if it is their first lesson on the present perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay. So what will be the aspects? Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I understand you have other commitments, guys. Thank you for coming. So we've never seen a whale before. What's the form? The form is easy. Oh, Christina. Okay. Yes. So we have and the third form of the verb. What does the third form of the verb depend on? Yeah, either the third form of irregular verbs, right, or ed form of regular verbs. I can see you've highlighted some good formulas, and you have has, this kind of in your formula, which is, regular, irregular, and then the dependence of the have form on the subject of the sentence. That must be highlighted. And again, for low-level students, perhaps you can create a substitution table, different subjects, then when we use have, when has, and then different types of verbs, a couple of regular, a couple of irregular, just to give them an idea what it might be like. What else do we need to include into the formula? Before, absolutely right, Victoria. So before, which we can use at the end of the sentence. What else? What other keywords we can use at the end of the sentence? Give me more ideas. Yet. Yeah, never. Okay. Yeah, never can be used, of course, in between have and the main verb, but yeah. So far, great. I wanted to hear that. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Great ideas. Okay, awesome. So depending on the practice activities and the focus of a particular lesson, you can highlight different things. Now, because we've clarified the form already, and meaning comes first, why I've asked these questions about the form, that can help us give a hint on what we need to clarify in terms of the meaning. Now, what will be the definition of present perfect? Who can give me a hint? Experiences, good. Results, good. Okay, okay. So will it be about something that happened in the past? Maybe recently, quite likely, very good. And will it be more important, what will be more important, the result itself or the past action? The result, yeah, exactly. Okay, awesome. So what I've just demonstrated is concept checking questions, which we can ask to clarify the meaning of the target language. And when you prepare for a lesson, you can start by analyzing the form first, and then you can come up with a better definition depending on the different components that you have in front of your eyes. And you know what you need to prepare the students for, like in practice tasks, things like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. Great definitions, great ideas about that. Perfect. Yeah, that's okay, Lina. Okay, hope to see you again. So, meaning for pronunciation. What aspects of pronunciation will we have to clarify in a lesson on the present perfect simple? Short forms, okay. There is an element of the form here. We use contracted forms, exactly, but it affects pronunciation, I agree. Yeah. Okay, contractions. Intonation, very good, intonation. Will it go up or down? Down, yeah, towards the end of the sentence. If we talk about affirmative sentences, yeah, but if we clarify all different types of sentences, then perhaps you'll have to come up with a upward trend. Okay, great. Intonation is perfect. Yeah, we are on the same page here. Probably you need to clarify the sentence stress, don't you think so? So which words are stressed? Yes, content words will be stressed, absolutely right, and function words like have, articles, yeah, and so on, won't be stressed. Perfect, well done. Okay, so that can be done for each structure, and of course, if you consider all of them, you'll be better prepared for different types of questions related to grammar. Okay, now here you can see the answers, which we have discussed and I've forgotten to reveal, but you were so smart. Now let's talk about phonology a little bit. And I have already given you a hint on sentence stress. You told me about intonation patterns. Yeah, we won't be talking too much about connected speech features, but it might be important to understand some of them. And of course, different sounds, yeah, from International Phonemic Alphabet, which you asked me about. Here it is. So here is a phonemic chart from Andrew Underhill. And what I like about it is the way he presents the phonemes, the sounds. You can see a clear organization of the chart. Now, could you tell me which categories you can see here? How can we subdivide the sounds of phonemes? Yes, there are vowel sounds, absolutely right. And consonants, therefore, absolutely right. Yeah. Diphthongs and monophthongs, that's true, yeah. Long and short, okay. So now let's actually focus on something that is highlighted here. Of course, we have, two dots to highlight that this sound is slightly longer. Yeah, voiceless, oh, very good, yeah, and voiced, yeah, okay, glides or semi-vowels, very good. Yes, back and front. These things are very important here. Which articulators will be used to produce the sounds, right? So if you imagine mouth cavity, yeah, it'll be like here, we'll have lips, yeah, this is our front part, and this is the back, over there, yeah, the back. So this is basically what it shows. Like to say or, yeah, we use the back parts, yeah. To say or e, we use our mouth. So these are very important features, and that's how you can clarify the different aspects related to sounds that look similar for your students, or sound similar if you want, this play on words. Yeah. Yeah, okay. You're boosting, actually, your knowledge of terminology is just fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Those are not TKT-related terms. Yeah, in TKT, you need to know vowels, consonants, monophthongs, diphthongs, yeah, something like this. It's quite basic. Now, what is the most common or frequently used sound in English? Yeah, pronunciation and use is perfect. I like, actually, Mark Hancock's materials in general. Yesterday he presented at IATEFL conference, and if you follow his website, Hancock and MacDonald, you can find a lot of practical ideas how to teach phonology. Yeah. Yeah, schwai is the most frequently used, actually. That's right, and this is the sound here in the middle of the table. It's actually the neutral sound. When your articulators are relaxed, you can produce something like this. Yeah, great. Okay, you've mentioned some other peculiar terms like bilabial sounds, yeah, when you use your lips, for example, yeah, or dental, or I don't know, alveolar, for example, yeah, something like this. Yeah, that might help if you understand that. That's good. Have a look at this slide. There are 4 boxes here. Look at each box and tell me what is special about each box and what differences they have in between each other. Syllables, what do you mean by syllables? Stress, exactly. That's it. That's it. Perfect. So in different boxes, we have different stressed syllables. So in the first box, the words are presented with the first syllable stressed. In the second syllable is stressed, and so on. Yeah, so you can see in English we can use different types of stressed syllables. Do you know any rules related to stresses? Okay, you do remember, great. Okay, because, yeah, something like shun, for example, yeah, the syllable before this syllable is likely to be stressed, yeah, something like this. Right, yeah, there might be some other rules that you may come up with, but that's not really important. What is important is to be able to identify the right stress. Let's have a look at some features of connected speech. So what I'm showing you here is some features are underlined, yeah, and you can see some symbols highlighted above their utterances. So I want you to contribute to the chat box and tell me what is the first one. I'm. Reduction, okay. I'm not sure it's actually reduced, yeah, but definitely it is a short form, a contracted form. Yeah, lemonade, yeah, okay. Why we have difficulties with that word, I don't understand. Okay, yeah, yes, this is a short or contracted form, that's important. Now, how about this one? Yeah, in the first one, we also have linking, I and m, yeah, we connect them, we put them together, but yeah, to the, this one. Can't see any ideas. Weak forms, absolutely right, perfect, yeah. I'm not sure about assimilation here, but here in number 4, there will be assimilation, yeah? We are changing some of the sounds because words come together and they affect pronunciation. Because our articulators cannot move that fast, right? And we need that. How about number 5? What is, oh, good, Maria, yeah. What is highlighted in number 5? Yes, this is a sentence stress or intonation pattern. Yeah, so there might be something like this here. I can't see any intrusion here. Sorry. Or I don't understand which one you're referring to. Number 6. I can see quite a lot of ideas, but I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. Is it about think? Why? Stress, exactly. It's a content word, it'll be stressed. This is something obvious. There might be something else, but it's not clear what you're saying because there are too many responses. I'm not very good at multitasking. Now, how about number 7? Okay, perhaps you're giving me the answers already. How about then number 8? This is interesting. This is important. Yes, this is linking. This is a very good example. Yes, Olga, thank you very much, Anna. Yeah, so the final consonant of the previous word will be connected to the next vowel sound. Yeah. In TKT, they're using only linking term. In Delta Model 1, you can also use catenation, for example, for the same thing. Okay, how about number 9? What's this? Yeah, there is an element of linking of some kind, but it's actually, yeah, slangish. Yeah, I would say contracted form of some kind. Yeah, and yeah, reduced form. Very good. Yeah, and number 10 will be stress. Absolutely right. Awesome ideas. Well done. Okay, now have a look at this task. Let's focus on number 1. And tell me about place. Yeah, how many phonemes are there? Really? We have different ideas. Okay, right. I can see a lot of correct answers. 5, how come? Are you counting letters or what? Okay, number 2. Two is A. Yes, we mostly agree. And number 3. So just to remind you, a minimal pair is a pair of words where only one sound is different. So in she, we have long E, and ship has a short E and also P at the end. So they're different in 2 sounds, yeah? Thinking is the same kind. We have 3 more phonemes here. And C will be the right answer, only the vowel sound is different. So let me show you the right answers. Check yourselves, make sure you understand that right. Great, yes. Okay, well done. Okay, now let's focus on some features of connected speech. Have a look at this task. Okay, so remember I showed you some boxes and there were different syllables stressed. So the first one is wrong. It's not always like that, yeah. Structural words are never stressed is incorrect because they might be stressed sometimes. Who can give me an idea when we stress, when we put an emphasis on some function words? Any ideas here? I am right. Yeah, so emphatic constructions. Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. So yes, you're right about the right answer. It is, of course, C. I do like drawing, yeah. Well, sometimes we overuse emphatic constructions, don't you think so? As well as idiomatic expressions, because we, as teachers, we like certain features of language. Okay, let's change the focus and let's talk about lexes. I'm particularly keen on teaching different lexical terms. So here you can see a word cloud with different terms. Type in a plus if you know all of them. And type in the word that you want me to clarify, perhaps. Oh, fantastic. We have a group of experts today, those who are attending this webinar. There were a couple of things I could see. Yeah, okay. So let me just focus on some of them. I think antonyms and synonyms will be basic terms. Yeah, collocations, probably too. A compound. Let's focus on this one. Compound, okay? Who can give me a compound, an example of a compound, please? Spaceship, very good. So we have two words, space and ship. They come together and produce a new word. Yes, schoolgirl, yeah. Bus stop, eggplant, fantastic. Yeah, those are compounds. Okay, perfect. So as for a false friend, will it be something good or something bad? Will it hinder understanding? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what will be the examples? Accuracy, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, magazine for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Intelligent. Yeah, quite often it is a problem. Sympathy, that's a great example. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Great. Yeah, obviously, there might be different examples from different languages. Yeah, and if you know some foreign languages, this task will be easier for you. Yeah, if you can see an example from French, for example, or something. Yeah. Okay, let's focus on register, because I could see some questions related to register. What will be the synonym for register? Who can give me an example? Yes, exactly. So the level of formality, that's it. So let's say start, and what will be the synonym of a different register? Exactly, great ideas. I wanted to hear something like this. Yeah, begin and start, I'm a neutral. Yeah, very good. Yeah, or like setups, for example, something. Yeah, another example of a synonym. Okay. I think there was a question about base word. So let's take one of the most frequently used base words, like use. Yeah. How many words of the same word family we can produce? Exactly, usage, useful, useless. So all of them come from the same stem. So this is the base word. So word family will be a series of words with the same base word. Okay. Okay, now homophone is a word which sounds the same. Exactly. Sounds the same, but the spelling is different. Great ideas. Awesome. Yeah. And affix is an umbrella term for both prefixes and suffixes, right? So we use affixation to produce new words of the same word family. Right. Okay. Great. Okay. So many examples. Wow. Yeah, okay, how about this one? Who can help Valeria understand? Good, so I think Svetlana is giving a very good example. So the words with the same pronunciation, the same spelling, yeah, but they might mean different things. For example, to book a room in a hotel, yeah, and to read a book. Yeah, tie, exactly. Yeah, there are many words of the same kind. Usually they have multiple meanings, and that might cause problems. Yeah, exactly. And what else we had? There was something else. A lexical set, yeah? A group of words. Yeah, a lexical set doesn't have to be the words from the same word stem. Yeah, for example, a lexical set related to sports will be different types of activities, tools, equipment that you need to do sport, yeah, something like this. Whereas word family is about only the words that are derived from the same base word. Okay, right. So let's move on. Here you can see a sample task. On the left, we have some examples. On the right, we have the terms. So what's number 1? Choose the letter. Okay, right. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Very good. Which variety, by the way, do you prefer? American or British? Which resonates? British. Okay, okay. Oh, American too. Yeah, that's okay. So number 2, let's have a look. What's that? Synonyms, absolutely right. Perfect. Number 3. I'm confused now because you're not mentioning the number of the task. Yes, so I think 3E you are saying, yeah? Yeah, different suffixes are used. Yeah, exactly. Number 4. Compound, yeah, compound. Are they compound nouns or compound adjectives? Yes, exactly. Okay, number 5. And number 5 will be a lexical set. What's the lexical area? What's the topic? Yeah, yeah, good. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully it helped you clarify some of the terms that you weren't very familiar with. And I have the answers here. Have a look. Any surprises? Okay, good. We don't have any surprises. Now, I have a question for you. If you can define an adjective, what is an adjective? Who can give me a definition? Because I can see you are very advanced in terms of terminology. I'm asking you to type in a definition. Yeah, okay, an adjective defines a noun. Good. Yeah, describes nouns. Yeah, description. Okay. Modifies. A better term. Yeah, good. Good. Okay. Is it always like that? Do we need a noun? Answers the question how. That's a good point. Good. Okay, you're smart here. Okay, awesome. So it can be part of the predicate, right? So with that in mind, I have the next activity. Have a look. Which one is not an adjective? This is an odd one out type of question. So please choose A, B, or C. We're not choosing adjectives, we're choosing which one is not an adjective. I told you, odd one out are tricky ones. I can see quite a lot of incorrect answers. That's a shame, but a lot of correct as well. Okay, you got it right now. Perfect. Yes, okay. So if you look at the sentence, yeah, the function of the first adjective, difficult, is to modify question, yeah? sure belongs to the predicate. And right, what's the function of right? It's an adverb which does what? Yes, exactly. The action. It modifies the action. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, this is kind of activity. Okay, now let's move on to functional language. When we teach functions, it's quite important to show the context clearly so that the students understand how to use them later on. The register will be particularly important. So the register, the level of formality and appropriacy, like how to use, when to use, or when not to use actually, because of the register or some other situational components. Maybe the person you are talking to, yeah, like is too old, so you won't be using this language or something like that. So, and we talk about different types of functions and exponents. Now, the difference between exponents and the functions. Here in the boxes, you can see different functions. The exponents will be the actual words that we can use. So, for example, I want to apologize. What can I say? Apologize. Yeah, for example, sorry, exactly. That will be, excuse me, maybe. Okay, yeah. I do apologize, maybe. Right. Okay, great. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you are giving me different exponents of the same function, apologizing. Let's focus on another function, expressing certainty. Yes, will, yeah, can actually help. Yeah, sure. Certainly, yeah. Definitely, very good, convinced. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm not showing you a situation. So here we're just brainstorming different functions. Now, the point is being that for one and the same function, we can think of different exponents, and that can help us help students equip them with a variety of utterances, yeah, with the same function. Okay, let's focus on expressing a dislike. Not disagreement, dislike. Hate, yeah, awful, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I can't stand, yeah, maybe, yeah, to be honest, yeah, I don't really like it, okay, and how do we speculate? That's kind of challenging. Let me show you what I've got, yeah. We can use different modal verbs, for example, to speculate. Yeah, might is really good, yeah. I like may and might. Okay, so functions, ing type of words that help us identify why we are using these expressions, yeah, and exponents, different examples that we can use. Now, do you think we can use different, well, one and the same exponent with different meanings, like in different situations, different functions? Yeah, like, for example, sorry can be used to apologize, but it can also be used to do what? Yeah, exactly. So you attract someone's attention. Yeah, exactly. Sympathy. Okay, true. Yeah, great ideas. Yeah, okay. So that's the point. Yeah, it is a bit confusing there, but there will be a lot of matching tasks in this section on functional language, I can imagine. So, for example, something like this. So you can see 5 utterances and the functions on the right. There are only 3 answers that are available. This is called multiple matching. Yeah, you can match one and the same, well, use one of the same answer several times. So number 1, you're saying is B. Giving a reason. That makes sense to me. Number 2 is A. Those of you who are saying number 2 is A, I think you're right. Yeah, unless there is an element of expressing a condition. That's right. B again is to give a reason. Absolutely right. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, and 5 must be C, right? Let's have a look. Okay, I think we're on the same page. Right, that's amazing. So, yeah, some of the things might look like this in the section on functional language. Yeah. Why we need to understand which functions they are. Yeah, this is relevant for clarifying meaning. We can also use different functional language in the classroom so that we give accurate models and natural models. And also, of course, we can clarify, supply students with some useful language to prepare them for productive activities. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about systems. Now let's shift towards skills. And I have already mentioned the productive activity, and functional language might be really helpful if you clarify some of the useful language and then set up a writing or speaking activity. The students may appreciate that and improve their performance. So, which skill are all these terms about? Oh, it's good, Nadezhda. Yeah, so you worked with the handbook, I can imagine. Reading. All of them are with reading. Yes, there is a mixture actually, and yes, there are many terms that we can relate to reading. Yeah, like skimming, making predictions, intensive reading, scanning, global understanding. By the way, what's the synonym for global understanding? Gist, of course. Yeah, very good. And another synonym is here, skimming. Yeah, global understanding, gist, or skimming. Inferring attitude, which requires deeper understanding. Yeah, and there are some terms related to a combination of skills. Like, for example, when you ask the students to read the text and respond to the context somehow, like by note taking, or by they have to read what they have already produced, yeah, in the writing task, and focus on different ways to improve their text. So this is proofreading. So quite often we combine skills, yeah, and we run different activities, developing integrated skills quite often. Yeah, feelings, yeah, exactly. Maybe attitude, maybe, yeah, some kind of meaning which is behind the words, yeah, irony or sarcasm. Have a look at the task. So we have quite a few language skills highlighted, and you just need to look at the multiple choice type of questions and decide which is which. So yeah, let's focus on number 1, what summarizing is. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, very good. How about number 2? Okay, I can see some correct answers. Well, in fact, all of you are right. Very good. Yeah, that's what fluency is like. How about number 3? Okay, you smartly noticed that there is not in the rubric. Yeah, well done. And finally, number 4 will be, okay, let me just show the correct answers, because I could see that you don't have problems with this task, and this is really amazing. Okay, so when our students work on different skills, we also supply them with some strategies. For example, if we ask them to focus on gist, yeah, they're usually given a time limit so that they're not focusing on every single word, yeah, but they read relatively fast, and they understand only the surface level of the text, right? And then you can give them time to read the task in detail later. The third one, just a second. The ways of reading do not include paraphrasing, because paraphrasing is not reading. Paraphrasing, it will be speaking or writing, yeah? But skimming and deducing meaning from context are reading skills. You mean the previous task or something? Okay, whatever. Yeah, might be wrong. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at this task. A strategy for the students. Right. What do we call this sub-skill when students don't consult a dictionary, they don't ask you a question, yeah, but they try to figure out what it might mean? Deducing, yeah, from context, yeah, exactly. Inferring is slightly different. It's more about understanding the attitude. Yeah, guessing as well, yeah, good. Okay. All right. Now let's change the area slightly and focus on different principles related to language learning and teaching. Have a look at the terms here, which will be the most challenging area for you to explore. Motivation. Well, to be honest, I'm a keen enthusiast, you know. I like reading about different motivational theories. I think, yes, it is a challenging area, but at the same time, it's very interesting. Assessment is something tricky. Yeah, definitely. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Oh, errors. Yeah, error correction is an interesting and useful area. Okay. Yeah, motivating teenagers is something that we all have to keep in mind, you know, finding new ways how to keep them really hooked. Yeah, I know, yeah. Okay, right. So, what we'll be talking about in a moment is different principles that will help us clarify some of the terms, yeah? In terms of motivation, because you've mentioned motivation as an interesting area to focus on, yeah? There are two types of motivation that we can find either inside ourselves, yeah, what do we call that? Intrinsic, exactly, yeah, and then extrinsic motivation. So if we talk about young learners, school children, what kind of motivation do you think they have? Quite often, yes, it's extrinsic because they don't understand the value of learning something like a foreign language. But if you play games, if you use a variety of fun activities, if you motivate them somehow, yeah, the tasks are interesting and relevant for them, you develop their intrinsic motivation. Yeah, exactly. Now, exposure to language is something that we work on by dealing with different texts, activities. Yeah, we give them models that are natural. And so on. Okay, let me show you the task. What are the differences between the first language and the second language learning? Okay, your ideas? Reading? Okay, so probably what you mean is that we can rely on literacy skills, yeah, which are not developed, yeah, with the first language. Okay, yeah, acquisition, yeah. Quite often we acquire the first language effortlessly. And obviously parents react to your utterances in a different way. They won't be correcting you too much, right? They will be more reinforcing and encouraging you to produce something because they want to understand what you want to say. Whereas in the second language, the focus is more on accuracy, on different, I don't know, form-related aspects and so on and so forth. So we need to keep in mind how languages are learned in general, and we need to use some of the principles in our lessons to make sure our learners are motivated and they don't find it intimidating what we do. So there is also a difference in age, of course. We start learning our first language when we are really young, yeah, and we start learning the second language when we are more conscious and mature, and our attitude to language learning might be already affected by other learning experiences. And we can be learned in different ways, including conscious involvement, cognitive challenges. So have a look at the task. It's a little bit grayish, but hopefully you can read and choose the right answers. I can see you're really good at doing tasks. It's a kind of mock exam for you. Yeah, I've just mentioned that the correction techniques might differ. Yeah, if we talk about the first language and the second language. Good ideas. Okay, how about number 2? Exactly. The message is very important. So meaning comes first. We are using that principle in teaching, hopefully. Number 3. Very good. Yeah, okay, I can see the correct answer. So I'm highlighting those. And we can move on because I'm running out of time, I can see. So I wanted to talk to you about different presentation techniques, different approaches, yeah, the methods that we use to clarify language and also develop some of the skills. So here you can see quite a few approaches, like presentation, practice, production. We often go with that because our students expect us to present the target language first. In course books, you can see that presentation comes first and then there is practice. Whereas in some modern course books, you can see some elements of test, teach, test. When with high-level students, perhaps it will be more important. You can first assess what they know in that area that you're planning to teach, and then you clarify that. And your clarification stage will be more appropriate. Yeah, will be more appropriate than just when you do PPP. You can read about the approaches in different books, including TKT Course Book. I've mentioned the book by Jeremy Harmer, remember, and Scrivener. And at the end of this presentation, you will find a slide again with the list of books on methodology and language. I'm sure you know what grammar translation is like, right? And total physical response, when the learners are not able to produce anything, but you can still check understanding. Like if you ask a young learner to raise their hand or, I don't know, open their book, yeah, you can see that they're responding by doing an action. And there is an element of total physical response there. Guided discovery is really popular, I agree. And I think it's worth using that approach. In many course books, you can see some elements of guided discovery when you are asking the students to work on a task to help them clarify the target language. So have a look at this task. We can see learning preferences. Choose the teaching approach for that particular learner or learners. Okay, absolutely right. Yes. Okay, everyone agrees that it's going to be test-teach test. Okay, how about this one? Okay, you're really fast. Wow. Okay, awesome. Absolutely right. This will be fluency. The focus is on the ideas that they can contribute with. Yeah. I'll skip this slide because we don't have much time, but you'll be able to see it later on. Have a look at the assessment. Yeah, different test types. So we have progress tests that we can do in the middle of the course, achievement test at the end of the course. Yeah, they might be diagnostic assessment or placement tests at the beginning of the course or before the course. Yeah, and subjective or proficiency tests are also highlighted here, but I don't think you'll need them. And I can see you already typing the answers. All right. So we have achievement test. Yeah, the test. Yeah, at the end of the course, and also a diagnostic test at the beginning of the course so that you can confirm the syllabus and make some adjustments to meet your students' needs. So I'm very happy to say that we've covered nearly everything. And here I've got some questions for you to consolidate. So how many sections are there in Module 1? We've talked about different areas. Yes, there are 3 actually most important areas. What do the 3 parts focus on? Yeah, so they focus on language, how languages are learned, and teaching principles. How long is the test? Probably you can answer this one. Yeah. 80 questions, very good. Do candidates write long answers? No, yeah, you are just shading the lozenges, showing which answer you are choosing, A, B, C, or whatever. So I've just answered number 5. What are the task types? So we have, yes, multiple choice, thank you, Valeria. Odd one out, yeah, and matching. What are the tasks? And there is a list of recommended resources. Yeah, you know that we've got a list of resources at Cambridge website and also on one of my slides. So if there are any questions, I'll have a look at your questions at the end probably. Oops, sorry, that's been the wrong decision. And I'll look at the questions. Okay, some of you have been typing in the question box, I think. Oh, there's been quite a heated discussion here on different things. If I'm passing CELTA now, does it make sense to take TKT? Well, to be honest, I would probably recommend teachers to take TKT before they come to CELTA. That will help because TKT is a teaching knowledge test. It's theoretical, whereas CELTA has a practical component and you can be more confident applying different principles that you've learned from TKT. Is it necessary to use students' books or online resources will be enough? Are you asking about a course? Or it's just a general question? I think that depends on your priorities, to be honest. During CELTA, we usually recommend some sources of information. what is the reason that Tkt is cheaper than Celt or Delta? Well, Tkt is just a test. You come and in 80 minutes, you'll be able to answer all the questions, and that's how you earn the certificate. In Celta and Delta, there is a practical component, and you have to teach students, real students. It's a 1-month course if it is an intensive course, and for part-time courses, it will be even longer. Yeah. Yeah, I know that if you look at Cambridge recommended courses, Tkt is in between Celt and something else. Well, probably because of the theory that is involved, and you come to Celta without any background knowledge. You can still cope with the components because there are input sessions to help you understand some of the theoretical principles. Yeah, but I think it's worth taking Tkt before Celta, to be honest. It'll be a lot more manageable and enjoyable. I'm talking about Celta. Tkt, well, is more or less doable. Subjective. Okay, the subjective, well, different tests have different element of subjectivity. There will be, if it is multiple choice, for example, you know, there is only one correct answer. So the element of subjectivity is really low, yeah? But if it is an open answer, and how you can assess what makes you think it's a good answer and what makes you think it's not so good, yeah? There is an element of subjectivity there. So. Okay, I think actually I've answered the most important questions. What is considered more impressive, Tkt or Celta? I think both of them are worth doing, and they have different functions, different purposes. Tkt is to confirm that you understand some of the principles, or most important basic principles of teaching. And Celta is to confirm that you can actually teach, because you'll be demonstrating that you can apply your theoretical knowledge. Yeah. It's not available online. No, sorry. But you can take Celta online, which will take longer than 80 minutes, unfortunately. Celta has a variety of tasks, and there will be some tasks related to grammar. One of the written assignments is language analysis. You'll have to do research and demonstrate your awareness of grammar. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for your active participation, involvement, great questions. You are amazing, very smart, active. It's just, it's been a pleasure. And I'm hoping to see you tomorrow and in a couple of days when we continue working on Module 2 and Module 3. And remember, you have 2 more input sessions later on with my colleagues. Thank you very much. Yeah, the same time tomorrow, exactly. Right.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you for this great session. I hope that the participants found it very, very useful and informative. Well, I did. I think that was brilliant. Thank you very much for all your recommendations and advice.
Thank you, Lila.
Thank you. See you tomorrow, the same time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Anna. Thank you. Dear colleagues, before we close this webinar, I would like to share some very, very useful links with you. So first of all, Anna mentioned our Celt S course. So there were a few questions about price and dates. So in the chat box, I'm sharing information about authorized exam centers in Russia that run Celt S and Celt P courses. So please find the links in the chat box, screenshot or save the links, just copy and save them. Then, if you would like to find an exam center and register for your TKT test, another useful link. This is the link to our website, Find an Exam Center. So there you need to choose the country, the qualification, we mean TKT, and there will be a list of authorized exam centers in Russia and other countries. There was a question about online version of TKT test, digital version. No, unfortunately, it's not available. We have only traditional paper-based test, so you need to find an exam center, register, and then spend at least 80 minutes at some nice venue and take your test. Maybe in the future it will be available online. But as Anna said, Celt course is now available online, and on our website, the same link, Find Exam Center, you can find a center for you, Celt Center, and register for your course. Then, links to our webinars about TKT, Module 2, Module 3, TKT YL, and TKT CLIL. So again, in the chat box, please save them, screenshot, or just copy and save. Yes, Oksana, thank you very much for your comments. It's really easy to find a center because there are lots of exam centers around the world that offer TKT qualifications, TKT tests. There are lots of questions about the recording of the webinar. The recording, the webinar will be added to our YouTube channel in a couple of days, and within 1 week after this event, it will be emailed to you. The link will be emailed to you with your certificate of attendance. The link to our YouTube channel. Please follow us on YouTube. And another great event this week. Penny Meaningful Grammar. So this Wednesday, 12 Moscow time, Penny and Claire Barnes are inviting you to take part in their great session about grammar. Grammar is very, very important part of exam preparation. So please register this Wednesday, June 23rd, 12 Moscow time. The webinar is free of charge. 2 90-minute sessions. You are all very, very welcome. I see some of you have already registered. That's really great. Amazing. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you found it useful. The objective of this online TKT preparation course is to give you some overview of all modules, 5 modules of TKT, the core modules, module 1, 2, 3, and modules like TKT Young Learners and TKT CLIL. In our follow-up email, we will share all these useful links that are in the chat box at the moment, and there is a question about certificate of attendance. All attendees will receive a certificate of attendance. It will be emailed to you within 1 week. Great. So, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to talk about TKT Module 2. Thank you. Goodbye.